The Returnees Show, proudly brought to you by Sell Now Marketing and anchored by the eloquent and charismatic Miranda Oben. Join us live every Sunday, 5 p.m. on the Returnees Project Facebook page. L'émission Returnees en direct, proposée par Sell Now Marketing et présentée par la très éloquente et charismatique Miranda Oben. Connectez-vous en direct tous les dimanches à partir de 17h sur la page Facebook de Returnees Project.
Hi everyone. Hi, it's another beautiful Sunday. And you know, Sundays live at 5. I, Miranda Oben, take my private virtual jet, fly across the world, connect, pick up my guest, and I'm at home all relaxed in Germany while I talk to you. This is the 6th episode of season 2 of the Returnees Show, and you all connecting now. Get a glass of water, get a cup of tea, stay tuned as we get started. Make sure you like, comment, share, and possibly win some prizes. You saw that in the intro video, right?
Bonjour, bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue à la deuxième saison de Returnees Project. Je m'appelle Divine Winter, je suis ingénieur en génie électrique et je dirige la société Winsolatech au Cameroun. Alors, j'aimerais aujourd'hui vous introduire la thématique du jour, le social ou le bénévolat. Il s'agirait ici de savoir pourquoi certaines personnes ont cet amour de partager sans jamais attendre un retour. Pourquoi des personnes ont cette facilité d'agir rapidement quand ils voient des personnes en aide, sans jamais attendre qu'on leur demande quoi que ce soit, sans jamais attendre qu'on leur paye. Ça, c'est la thématique du jour. Moi, particulièrement, je suis quelqu'un de très sociable. J'aime bien soutenir des projets, j'aime bien soutenir des personnes qui ont besoin de mon aide tant que je peux. Et ça me procure aussi ce bonheur dans le cœur de voir à travers mes actes un joli petit sourire se dessiner, par exemple, sur les lèvres d'un enfant qui est dans le besoin. Alors, sans plus tarder, je vais vous introduire les speakers avec qui cette thématique sera débattue. Je vais ici faire appel au docteur Henri Koumbé. C'est un homme au grand cœur que j'ai eu la chance de faire la connaissance au Cameroun en décembre l'année passée, dans le cadre, bien sûr, de Returnees Project. Dr Koumbé dirige le plus grand hôpital ophtalmologique du Cameroun. Par la suite, vous aurez Madame Welisa Mokwe-Keng et ensuite Madame Cecilia Blicker. Et enfin, vous aurez la charmante et adorable Honorine Imanga. L'émission vous serait présentée et modérée aujourd'hui par celle qu'on ne présente plus, la dame dynamique au grand cœur, Miranda Oben. Allez, je vous souhaite de passer une bonne soirée. Au revoir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Divine Winter. That was an introduction by Divine Winter, electrical engineer based here in Germany and the CEO of Winsolatech, one of the partners and sponsors of the Returnees Project. Thank you for connecting today. If you're there, drop a comment, say hello, and I'll say hello back to you. All of our guests are set and ready backstage. And today, my dress is an African designer, Coco Diamond, based in the USA, used to be in Germany. And she will be live on December 13th to talk about the importance of us investing in our own designers, our own entrepreneurs. So if I spend money on a sister or a brother's business, we all grow together. So Coco Diamond, thank you for the dress. Love it. And if you all like that, let her know and order from her as well. We will be able to change the narrative if we focus on each other. Remember, people really don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about you all. I care about being an inspiration. I care about finding the role models in our community, holding the hands of the younger ones and saying, hey, whatever it is your dream you have to become tomorrow, there are others who have gone before you who have done this. How about looking at Dr. Kumbe or Welisane or Honorine Manga. And tomorrow, if you want to talk health or philanthropy, ladies and gentlemen, today I have role models for you. Like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend that we're on episode 6 of season 2 of the Returnees Project. Now, the person I'm going to introduce has a heart of gold. I actually met him in Cameroon when he was introduced to my team as an ophthalmologist who had returned from Germany and was working in Cameroon, receiving up to 450 patients a day, taking care of, giving back by going to the villages and communities around Yaoundé and the suburbs to take care of people's eyes. Sometimes it takes a surgery of about 3 minutes to make you sight better. They say at the Maghrabi Eye Institute in Cameroon that seeing is believing. So when Dr. Kumbe said yes, he was going to be here on the show with me today, I was excited. My team was equally very, very excited. So I'll bring the person on board who has been there for so many, who has understood his dream from a very young age, and tell you all out there watching that today is the day to make that decision. Start following that dream. Don't listen to the naysayers. Look at those who have made it before you and let them inspire you. Welcome with me, ladies and gentlemen. If my technical team is ready, Dr. Henry Kumbe. Hello, Doc.
Hello, Miranda.
Good to see you today.
Yes, Miranda, it's a pleasure. I'm truly honored to be on this on the show.
Oh my goodness, the pleasure is all mine. Tell me, what is the weather like in Yaoundé? How do you feel today?
Well, the weather in Yaoundé is a bit hot today, but it's fine. I mean, it's okay. This is the season. It's the start of the dry season.
Right.
So, it's to be expected. But otherwise, I can't complain. Yeah.
Miss home a lot, and it's always good to see you in Yaoundé. So I said I'm taking my private virtual jet, flying across the world, picking up my guests, all in the comfort of my home, thanks to technology, and being able to exchange with you all on this panel. But there is something many young people keep asking themselves: how to become like you, how to find purpose, how to move ahead in life. To start with, Doc, I mean, what would you say? How did it just tell us a little bit more about you, and let's see how the questions are going to unfold. Because when I think, honestly, I could think of 7 questions to ask you at once, but let's just start slowly by saying, who is Dr. Kumbe?
Thank you, Miranda. Well, Dr. Kumbe, I live in Yaoundé with my family, my wife, and 3 children. What I do for a living, I'm an eye surgeon, and I specialize in the surgical management of diseases of the retina. Now, since you're talking about healthcare and philanthropy, the question probably in your mind is, how did Henry become an eye surgeon, or what pushed him to become an eye surgeon?
That is my question. How did you find purpose? How did you find purpose? A very strong word.
Sorry, but I'll try to cut it short. As a kid, up to about the age of, 8, 9, 10, I had wanted to become either a Roman Catholic priest or a nurse. And why? Because my late uncle, Reverend Father Henry Meswe, was a Catholic priest, and my mother was a nurse. And I spent a lot of time with these 2 people, and I kind of liked what they did. I mean, at the age of 9, I was already assisting my mother whenever we went to the village with minor surgical procedures. So that kind of drew my attention. But then I think the aha moment came at the age of, 13, when my mother took me to the Ndunge hospital. Ndunge is a small town in the Mongo division in Cameroon. And I don't really know. I mean, I didn't know why she took me to that hospital. But it's when I got there that I realized that I had problems with my eyes, that I couldn't see well. And there, we got there at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So we left very early. I met a crowd of, about 300 people, all waiting to be seen by this eye specialist. And that's the day I decided to become an eye specialist myself for 2 main reasons. One, I left there with a prescription. I left the place with a prescription, a glass prescription, and my life changed. I could see very well thereafter. But secondly, I saw that there were a lot of people who had eye problems because there was this huge crowd all waiting to be seen by that one person. But it's a third thing, and I think which probably influenced me a lot. It was the interaction between the healthcare provider, the eye specialist, and me.
Right.
For the first time, I was visiting an eye hospital, or I left a hospital very, very satisfied. Because prior to that, visiting a healthcare facility, although my mother was a nurse, was always associated with pain, with fear, with dirt, with a lot of things, unpleasant memories. But there, this gentleman really listened to me. He was, had a lot of empathy. He, answered my questions, made me feel, at ease. And then, of course, boys will be boys. I saw the toys he was playing around with, the gadgets, to examine my eyes. And I said, hey, someday, I would like to, like the French say, joindre l'utile à l'agréable. I play with the toys, but then I also help people. So that's in a nutshell is how I found myself on the road to becoming an eye doctor. So I was 13 years old, give or take.
That was pretty early to already find your path, Doc. We'll bring some brilliant ladies also on board, so we delve into this issue of finding purpose. At what age? How do you find your purpose? What is purpose? What is passion? How do you combine profession and then still be able to do philanthropy work? How do you go out there to help people? What makes you even want to help people? So we found two brilliant ladies who have been able to follow their heart, who have been able to use their heart like that GPS, that global positioning system, to reach out to so many other people in the world. Again, I fly around with my private jet to pick up these people around the world. I've been to Yaoundé now, towards the area. I just know it's after Etudi where the hospital is. And after that, I'll be moving on now to, I can't remember where Welly is, but I'll just try and say Longkak, and she'll let us know when she comes on board, if that's where she is. But anyways, my pilot knows where to find her. So bring on board, ladies and gentlemen, please, my team, if you're ready, bring up Welisane Keng, the founder of Welisane Foundation. Hi, Welly.
Hi, Miranda. Hi, everybody.
How are you talking to? Where are you talking from now? Is it Longkak? I was trying to get it right.
Yeah, I'm in Longkak. I left from Longkak and then I flew over to Tropicana to wait for the jet.
You all know about my private jet already. Isn't that amazing? I was like, if Samuel Eto'o is delaying with delivering the jet, we'll use the virtual jet. Thank you for that.
So, yeah, so it's not far from Simana.
It's so good to have you. We have Dr. Kumbe on board as well today. And after picking you two in Yaoundé and exchanging with you, we'll come back to Germany where we'll pick Honorine Manga, who is already in the studios waiting. But Welly, before we go on further, right? I know about the Welisane Foundation, and I read that it deals with, taking care of especially the young girl child and many other things you do, which I can't summarize, but you know best. Tell us a little bit, first of all, about you, who we're talking to professionally, and then a little bit about your foundation, what you do.
Okay, thank you very much, Miranda, Oben. This feels like a family gathering. I see everybody that I know through another person, Dr. Kumbe, that I have met with Dr. Oye from Site Savers, and also he's a family friend to Wasem Musonge, who is my aunt, and Blika, who also happens to be a family friend. And then I'm just discovering Honorine Manga. It's like a family gathering on a Sunday. It's amazing. So thank you very much. So like you mentioned, Hitato, I'm Welisane Mokwenkeng. I'm the founder of Welisane Foundation, and we empower girls and women especially. And so I have a background in journalism and diplomacy and international relations, a blend of that. But what I really do for purpose and as a passion is empowering girls and women. And this is something that I picked up from my mother from a very early age, because she made us understand the importance of giving back to your family, to your community. And so she happened to be divorced at a very early age. And from that time, she thought that it was important to empower, for a woman to be empowered even before getting married, or to empower those around her. So I grew up surrounded by so many people from the village, from my aunts, my uncles. She just kept bringing people to the house to give them a start, send them to school. And so that's how I learned the importance of empowering other people, because every time you empower someone, you plant another pillar in the family, and an empowered girl always empowers others. So that is what I picked from her. And then also, I was like the secretary, she had so many meetings, I can't even remember. She was creating meetings and foundation and associations. But the thing that I noticed about her is that she did not document this, or she did not have a structure to start to for posterity as a legacy. So when she passed on 3 years ago, I was like, okay, she's gone, nothing to show for it, no traces. I think I should do something more concrete, so that I can continue with her legacy and have something that is going to stay on. And as a woman, as a girl, as a mother of 3 girls, I think that it's important for us to really be concerned about the issues that affect girls and affect women, because the problems abound. We know them, we have lived them, especially for an African woman and a Cameroonian woman. So it's an opportunity for us all to really come on board and put our hands together and empower the girl child, empower the woman, because if we do not do that, like Barack Obama said, a nation that has empowered women is a nation that is prosperous. Thank you very much, Miranda. I'm going to come back to say more.
Sure, you definitely say more. And of course, when Honorine comes, I want to know more about you. We've heard about the foundation. And one thing you've said in particular, again, we talked with Dr. Kumbe about finding purpose. You've mentioned now living a legacy. So there is living while you're still alive, and then there's leaving when you're gone. What is there for the younger generation to pick up? We're lucky that your mom, what she did, passed on to you, and now we can benefit from that. So thanks to your mom again. Dr. Kumbe and I were talking about December 2021, where we'll be coming together to have a very big event which will celebrate a lot of us who are living and leaving this legacy, and also bring our parents on board to celebrate them for who they were to us. So again, another lady has been able to do a lot with the foundation as well. People would ask, but why do you do that? Why would you have your hard-earned money in Germany and use it for an orphanage in Cameroon? So a lot of people will not understand why even help others. For those watching out there, the viewers, I'll just say hello to a couple of people before I bring Honorine on board. Hello, Dam Rose. Thank you. Hello, Christelle Tui, Mary Tui and Christelle Khan. Honorine and Manga coming on board. Hello, Divine, Bizo, Mary. Thank you all for coming. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. Again, it is Coco Diamond, right? We'll be receiving her next week. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll be bringing another lady who has been working behind the scenes. Oh, hello, Goretti. Nice to see you. Working behind the scenes to make sure that she touches other people's lives. Only people who understand the importance of humanity would do this. The first time I actually got to London, invited by the Cameroon Career Women in London for an award in engineering, I got to hearing that Honorine Manga and some of the ladies had nominated me for an award. So what we tell the young is you never know who is watching. I had never met the lady. I had never met her, she and her team, but they were already having me listed in London. So wherever you are today, remember that you touch people's lives even without being there. Honorine is the founder of the Emanga Foundation of Hope, bringing hope to the hopeless and lending a helping hand. Welcome with me. If the technical team is ready, please bring on board Honorine Emanga for us. Hi, Honorine.
Hi, Miranda. Hi. Thank you very much for having me here, Miranda. I am honored.
The honor is all ours. My team actually was like, if we're talking foundation, we definitely want Honorine on board, because we've seen what you've been able to do with the Foundation of Hope, but you're a professional as a nurse in Germany. So maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and then about the Emanga Foundation of Hope before we now start talking about, the idea of helping and what to do if you need to open a foundation, etc. Tell us a little bit about Honorine and your work. And for the viewers, tag people who have also NGOs in Cameroon. Do that. So Honorine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Honorine Emanga Baron. I live in Germany. I origin from Kupe Maniguba, but grew up in Boya. I studied history in the University of Boya, so nobody was expecting me to become a nurse. I even cannot even explain how I managed to get myself into nursing. It's just a coincidence. I am a mother of one daughter. She's 9. I am married. I have lived in Germany for the past 17 years. And yes, like I said, nursing was never my focus in life. I think I was just created to be a nurse. So, because actually when I came to Germany, I was doing something else. I just had this part-time job in the hospital, and everybody was like saying, my God, you belong to nursing, you belong here, nowhere else. That's how I I just got myself into nursing, and I came to discover that it's my profession. I belong to it. It's my life. It's my life helping people.
Right, right. So now, what about now the inspiration behind it? No, maybe if I come to you and ask you the inspiration, Honorine, I'll go to Dr. Kumbe. Dr. Kumbe, we talked about purpose, and you said how you found your purpose. Now, for people watching out there who also want to find their purpose, what guideline can you give to someone? How do you find purpose in general, and what is purpose even?
Wow. It's a tough one, but I think that deep within us lies the seed of that purpose that you're talking about, and I'll just go back to our children. Watch them. See what they are interested in, what they talk about. It is very easy to identify the things that you gravitate towards. Naturally, easily. And with that, it is easy to identify, the things that for which you may be interested in doing later on in life. Because I think it's very important, whatever you do, that you have a passion for it, that you don't do it just for the sake of doing, or it's a job. If you have a passion for it, you will do it very well. And you might not even ask for money for it, because listening to Welisane and so on, they have their foundation and they have a passion for it. Nobody's paying them for it. They are spending their money because they are passionate about, they believe in what they are doing. So I think the first thing is introspection. Listen to that inner voice. Look at what you are interested in, what you gravitate towards. In my case, I love gadgets. I love toys. Everybody loves toys. And so that was one thing. But secondly, it's I have the feeling that I was kind of interested in alleviating the suffering of other people. And that came in very early in life, working with my mother in the villages, dressing people's wounds and things like that. So I think the first step is to be really honest with yourself, not what people tell you. Say, oh, I think you will be a good doctor or you'll be a good lawyer. That can help, but in the end, you have to do some introspection.
Right. So thanks, Doc, for that. Following again in the line of purpose, but now going to find out what inspired. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, thank you, doctor. What inspired you? I'm looking at Welly. Welly, tell us a little bit about now who you are. You talked about the foundation earlier on, but what professional side of you do we not know, Welly Sane? Tell us a little bit about it, and then connect it with what inspires you to continue doing what you are. A lot of people say, why help? What inspires you to continue doing what you do? After we know you professionally, tell us a little bit more about Pweli. Could you? Yes, perfect. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine now.
Thank you very much, Miranda. And just to continue in the same light, like Dr. Kumbe, I started with journalism and mass communication, which is something that drives me. I have passion for it. At the University of Boya, I did GMC, journalism and mass communication. But my initial goal was to study international relations, but I didn't succeed to travel out of the country. So we don't have that at the bachelor's level in Cameroon. So I said, well, I love journalism, so let's try this. So I went to UB. And then when I graduated, I went now to International Relations Institute of Cameroon, that's IRIC, to study international communication and public action for 2 years, and then 1 year for the thesis. Thereafter, I got a job at Cameroon Radio Television as a journalist, but I still had that passion to go back and continue with international relations, because every time it's interesting to know that the Ministry of External Relations and the radio house are in the same place. They share the same fence. So every time I stood on the window, I'm on the 2th floor. Every time I stood on the window and I looked out, I saw diplomats going in and out. I was like, that should be me. That should be me. So I went back to diplomacy in 2015. And so that's how I happen to have a double background in journalism and in diplomacy. And right now I'm carrying out a research at the Geneva School of Diplomacy on terrorism for a doctorate in international relations. So that is my parcours so far. So like you mentioned, what inspires me? like Dr. Kumbia said, we need to find our purpose. Look for your inner voice. What your voice tells you within you. Follow your passion, follow your heart. But I think that God has created all of us for a specific reason, and we have to listen to the voice of the Lord. I don't know how many people are Christian or whatever God you worship. Listen to listen to that voice from your divine creator, and it's going to come to you if you really listen. If you sit, God is going to direct your path, and He's going to show you the way to go. We all are created for a particular reason. We have this attitude of copying and pasting in Cameroon, where we see people doing makeup artists. Oh, we want to do makeup artists. We see everyone writing concours. Oh, we want to write concours. But if you really sit and see what pulls you, it's going to come to you, and you need to stay focused and just chase your dreams. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices, from your own pocket, sacrifice your family and all of that. But I have the belief that when you're doing the right thing and for the right purpose, you just keep going, and the right finances are going to come to you. The right people are going to come to you. Like I found myself on this show today just because I'm actually chasing my passion. And if you chase your passion and follow your heart and follow what God has given to you, then that's how He's going to provide the financial, human, and technical support that you need to carry on.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And we see what keeps you going, the passion, the love for what you do and all that. And congratulations on the professional side as well, because that's what we want to do on the Returnees Show. We want to show that you can combine your profession and your passion and then be able to blend seamlessly and do what you can. Dr. Kumbe mentioned passion. You reiterated that again with passion. And then you mentioned you have to do it. You have to stay focused, not swaying with the wind because everybody's doing it. Listen to your heart, as earlier said. So Honorine Emanga is someone who listened to her heart, created the Honorine Emanga Foundation of Hope, which is the AFO. And you've been able to carry out some activities so far in Cameroon. My team tells me I actually received some pictures showing your work, and you have actually reached out to us when we had the Returnees event in Douala. What are your activities like? What have you been able to do with the foundation until now, Honorine?
Well, we have done a lot, very much. In the last years, since we legalized the foundation, we have had a lot of questions, a lot of people asking for help. We have been able to help some orphans in Cameroon. We have helped internal displaced girls to train them in tailoring or saloon works. We have also donated food during the Corona lockdown in Cameroon. We have helped, even here in Germany, we have helped a lot of girls who are young girls who live here, who maybe have studied in Cameroon before and are unable to maybe get a career. We have helped them get them through nursing schools here in Germany. I think 4 of them graduated last year, April. We guided them through the 3 years program in nursing, and they all came out successful. We have helped a lot of African people who are mentally sick here, but maybe do not want to accept it as illness, maybe keep it behind the scene, or don't want to take in medications because they don't want to accept it as a mental illness, as sickness. We have helped them, put them through, taking them to the hospital, guided them in giving them advice to know that mental illness is as well just very normal as any other sickness. Among our African societies in Germany, I know a lot of people who suffer from it, and they really will not accept it. We have tried our best so far. We have been to many African churches here around the place to talk about mental illnesses and how difficult it is. We know, but it's also important for us to accept it and try to live with it as other sicknesses. That's so far that's what we have been doing. We have other programs coming up in this December and next year, which I'm going to tell you about.
Great. Thank you so much, Honorine. We'll get back to you. And it's introduced by Divine Winter at the beginning of the show. She said something really remarkable about the reason why she works as an electrical engineer, but she flies to Cameroon, helps just like you, Honorine, orphanages, centers for the blind. She installs power lights, power connections there so the children can have electricity to go to school. We know the importance of education. Now, when I think of the life of when we think health, mental health, or now we talk about, eyes. In December next year, 2021, we'll have Dr. Kumbe and his team come give free eye screening to the people in Douala, to the population, giving back. So not his professional side of his job at the hospital in Yaoundé, but take a delegation of his team and come to Douala and just on that day, screen the eyes, check, get the patients to already do the first steps in their work. But it will be interesting for the young ones watching who want to have a clinic or a hospital someday or a foundation someday, that we reach out to them with advice. So, but to understand the day or a week, let me put it in the life of someone like Dr. Kumbe, who I've told everyone is very busy, and we're glad again you're here today, Dr. Kumbe. Tell us a little bit about what your week looks like. The responsibility on your shoulders, we do understand, but people who want to open a hospital tomorrow and a clinic, give us a little idea of what a week in the life of Dr. Kumbe looks like at the Maghrabi Aiko Eye Institute in Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Miranda. I think if you want to open a clinic, first of all, you're going into entrepreneurship. Whether it's a private clinic or whether it's it's not for profit, that you have to think like an entrepreneur and act like an entrepreneur. As far as I'm concerned, I work, unfortunately, 7 days a week. There is no day of rest. So I have to, it's very important to have, before getting into this, to make sure that you have a balanced life. That I have a family, I have a wife, she needs my time. I have children, they need my time. And of course, I have my job and friends. So it's important to find the right balance. So like I said, 7 days a week. On normal work, weekdays, Mondays through Fridays, my day starts about 5 o'clock in the morning and it ends around 10, 11 p.m. Usually I'm at the hospital from 7:30 till about, normally the hospital would close at 3:30, but very often I'm there till about 5 o'clock to do admin work, administration, have some meetings with my staff, talk to some of my subcontractors, so on and so forth, and also to do some reports, because don't forget, although I'm the general manager, I have my own bosses. I have the board of trustees, of the Africa Eye Foundation, to whom I have to report. I need to maintain contact with the the administrative authorities in Cameroon, so all of that requires time, but priority is patience. So that's why from 7:30 in the morning to about 2, 3 o'clock, invariably I'm dealing with patients one way or the other.
Right.
So it's quite tough. I enjoy it. I enjoy it because, if you know what it means to be blind and then you've restored the sight of one person, the joy that you bring to that person or the joy that you have cannot be replaced by any amount of money or anything. It's unique.
Right. So it brings you joy. You work 7 days a week. It's a combination of profit and passion for you.
Yes.
Right. So now I'll go to Welly. You run the foundation, and I would like to know more about your activities as well. As you go on to tell us about your activities, as you wrap the question up, just tell us or talk to the people who are watching, what makes you, or rather, what would you tell them is important? What would make someone else invest in other people's lives? So if you were giving a call out there to the people watching, we've heard of the importance, but give them a little bit of tips of what you would give them from yourself that should guide them in the direction of, investing in others, having an NGO or running that project, just a message in that direction before we go on to the next topic. But first of all, tell us about your activities, Welly.
All right, thank you again, Miranda. So we're focusing ourselves in 4 key areas because, like we know, we cannot be all over the place, wanting to do eyes, wanting to do church, so we found 4 areas that are key and closer to our hearts that we started to work on. When I say we, I mean that me and my members and, of course, the entire team. So first of all, we are working education. Education is a fundamental human right and also is too important for the girl child. It will interest you to know that according to a UNESCO report, 70% of Cameroonian girls are illiterate. So that, when I looked at that figure, I was like, wow, can we possibly have so many girls not going to school in Cameroon? What can I do at my own level? What can we do to send even one more girl to school, or 10 more girls to school? That's why we are focusing on giving girls tuition, didactic materials, and mentorship to have them back in school. And then also we are interested in sexual and reproductive health and rights of girls and women, because that's another area that is really forgotten. You know, people do not know that girls and women have rights when it comes to their sexuality and sex.
Right.
And so we are working to raise awareness around this area and to raise awareness about cervical cancer, breast cancer, and the most important project in that field, which really touches my heart, is menstruation.
Right.
In rural areas, girls still have the challenge of having access to menstrual products. And coupled with the ongoing Anglophone crisis, when I watch a documentary of girls and women using moss and grass, in the bushes to pad themselves, I was like, wow, what can we do? How can we support the girls and women in this area? And so that's how we started to give them disposable pads. But this was not sustainable, because how many times are you going to go to the bush and give pads to girls and women? So we started to start using on our own pads, that reusable pads. So what we did was, I did a course in the Hurricane Island in the US on the production of reusable pads in 2019. So when I came back to the country, I called my team and said, hey, we can do this. We need this, and we come out with a major cotton producing country. So we have all we need to start this up, and we just need the girls and the machines to get this done. And so that's how we started to do reusable parts for girls. And so I work with other organizations and associations and individuals to supply these parts to IDPs and to less privileged girls. But where we really come in more in May, when we have the International Day of Menstrual Hygiene, where many people want to, give pads for free to girls, both disposable and reusable pads. And then we also work in the area of economic empowerment, because I watched my aunts and the women around me go through a lot of stress, being with a man when you cannot be able to support in any way, or you don't have a source of livelihood. And this is a real challenge that we have in Africa. Women who just sit at home and they claim that, okay, you're taking care of the family, but at the end of the day, you cannot make any informed decisions about your life. You cannot do anything. You do not even have a say about things that concern you. So we are moving around to encourage women to have a source of livelihood, and we have a project which we assist women from our community. I'm a rocker from Meme Division, Boge. So our charity begins at home. So far, we are working with the women in my community, and so we give them a small grant. The mount a project to do a presentation in pidgin on the dialect, what they want to do with the money, and then we can support them to start maybe frying puff or start farm to market tools to start going to the farm and all of that. And then last but not the least, we are doing mentorship and networking, because we realize that we have a problem of mindset. We need to change the mindset of younger girls in our country and women in general. And so we are working to mentor them on how to become empowered, how to speak up for yourself, how to say no, how to be self-sufficient. And we have trying to form a network of women where we can work together, because there is this cliche, I don't know if it's put out there by men or by women themselves, that a woman's enemy is another woman. So what we are doing is, we want to work with other associations, other organizations, other people who are working in women issues to come together, because when we come together, we can have a stronger voice, or we can have stronger impact, or heavier impact, or a huge impact in the community. So we have these networks once a year. We come together, exchange ideas, talk, relax, just have fun, because women do not even have the opportunity to take a break from their daily lives. There's family, there's work. So if we can take a week and have these workshops and these networking opportunities, it's going to be really, really important. So grosso modo, that's what we do. And to give a word to those who are watching us and listening to us right now, I would like to say that there is joy in giving back to your community, in making one more person happy. Like this Michael Jackson and his crew and Tourage sang, we are the ones to make the world a better place. So let's start giving. We have been fortunate to have the opportunity to go to school. The other girl next door who is not going to school is not because I have a bigger God or my parents are amazing, that's why I am in school or I have been educated. So for those of us who have been privileged to have this opportunity, we should put our hands deep into our pockets and really give back to the community. Support one girl, support somebody around you, your neighbor. You don't need to go far, and you do not need to make it a fanfare or something, because you should say that people who work in foundations and organizations, it has become like, who is doing better than the other person? This foundation is doing better than I am. If it's all about giving back to the community, it doesn't matter who takes the glory. So we should think about the next person, think about the neighbor, and really touch the lives of one another. Think about your community. What are we, the elites of our community, doing for our people? We need to go back. That is where it begins, because in the urban areas, it all looks like it's all good. But if you go to your villages, it's really a sad situation. So go back to where you're coming from, give back to a girl. There is joy in giving, there is joy in touching the lives of others. And if you are supposed to exit the world today, what will be your legacy? What have you done for the next person? Like I always say, you've not lived until you've done something for somebody who can never repay you. That's a quote by John Bunhan, and we all should take that and really give back. It doesn't have to be much. Just give something to somebody that is really going to touch the person's life, and that way we can make the world a better place.
Honestly, this is the kind of point where we're not at the end of it, but I just feel like let's just wrap this up and then we're good for today. There is joy in giving. Dr. Kumbe has said great things. Honorine has said, but your words, Welisane, are so good. You say we are the ones to make the world a better place. It is true. Who will help that next person? I did see Dr. Kumbe with that smile and that nod when you spoke, so I'll let him add something to what you say, Dr. Kumbe. Dr. Kumbe?
Well, I agree entirely with Welisane. I think there is greater joy in giving than in receiving. I think that's very true. And it's the same thing that I experience when it comes to fighting blindness. I mean, in Cameroon today, we have 750,000 people who live with vision impairment, right? Now, these are people who cannot see well. And then, of course, among those, about 200,000 are blind. Now, WHO had recommended that in Cameroon, that for a country like Cameroon, that we carry out at least 50,000 cataract operations every year to be able to address, avoidable blindness. Presently, we are at about 15,000 every year. So there's a lot of work to be done, But any of you, Welisane, you are in Yaoundé regularly, any of you, please pay us a visit at the Maghrabi ICO Cameroon Eye Institute, just to experience, what it means to restore sight to somebody who was blind. It's amazing. I mean, words cannot express. You have to see it. You have to experience it. I mean, blindness, especially the avoidable type, has no place in our society. It has no place, and that's why it's called needless blindness or avoidable blindness. So I'm sorry, I have to stop you.
All right, Doug, but that is an invitation. That's an open invitation for you, Welly, to visit the Maghrabi Eye Institute in Yaoundé and see that. And when Doc, perfect. And when Doc is very busy, but if you let him know in advance, he'll actually guided me around himself. So he will definitely guide you around the hospital and show you what happens there. And you see the crowd that comes there, like 450 or more patients, they come and then they get, screened, tested, selected. And then the machines there, he says he likes gadgets. The great thing is that they're state-of-the-art machines. So you walk into the hospital there and you don't feel, unfortunately, I have to say this, but you don't feel you're not in the West, right? So it is really something I would like you to experience as well, Welly. And then when people in Cameroon fly out of the country because they have problems with their eyes, I'm like, don't waste the money. Go and see Dr. Kumbe. I've referred so many people to him. But one thing which remains is that if we work together, we'll be able to eliminate the avoidable situations in our community. And that's what Dr. Kumbe does with his team out there. Honorine mentioned something earlier on about mentor. Oh, there was a question actually I would like you to take, Dr. Kumbe. Since it asks about men, I would like you to take it. And then Honorine, I'll get back to you to talk more about mentoring, because we have mentees out there looking up to you. A lady says, yeah, just a second. She said something. If my team finds it, just bring it to the screen. It was, yes, perfect. It was like, seriously, some women actually want to work, but their husbands won't allow that happen. Please, how do we help these particular women? I'm just letting Dr. Kumbe answer because it's from a man's perspective. How do we help the case where women want to work, but their men don't allow that? That's a question from Kene Gillian. Thanks, Gillian. Dr. Kumbe, so men who don't want their women.
Thank you very much. There I'm being put on the spot. But I think this is a very delicate question, and it's very difficult because in a marriage situation, both spouses, the husband and the wife need to sit down and make the decisions together. Yes, it is true that traditionally and in certain religious circles, it is agreed that the man is the head of the family, but that doesn't mean that he must be a dictator or that he has to lord it over the wife. I think this is something that they need to come to an agreement. I mean, I really can't say much to that besides that.
Okay, thank you. You want to add something to that, Welly? If not, I'll move on to the next question before Honorine gets back, which is mentoring. Tell us the importance of mentoring when the young ones are watching out there who want to be like you. Would you mentor a young one? Have you ever been mentored yourself? Just look at the topic of mentoring and tell us your view about mentoring. You and Honorine, now that she's back. You first, Welly, and then we'll get to Honorine. They talk about mentoring, the importance of mentoring. And have you ever been mentored, or do you mentor someone?
Okay, before going to the question of mentoring, I'd like to come back to the previous question. You know, every family has its own dynamics, and I think that you agree on what you want before you get into a marriage. Again, when you're still adult, that's when you have a bargaining power. And everything is communication. You need to communicate with your husband or your wife on how you guys want to live in the family. If we communicate rightly, then we can get there. And I like to add again that we all need to have a source of livelihood before we even get married. That's my advice to many young girls, or have something to be in school or be empowered, because you cannot have your life and another person dictating to you what you can do with your life and what you cannot do with your life. So the important thing now for girls is to be in school, go to school, have a say, have a bargaining power, so that when you come to the table, you can be able to have a bargaining voice. Now, to the question on mentoring, I have been mentored by so many women and girls, and I should really be thankful for this, because when you have someone who points you the direction at a very young age, then you can go fast at a very young age. My mother was my first mentor. She showed me how to go about in life, what is right and what is wrong, because of her own mistakes. So she didn't want me to make the same mistakes. So she said, do this, do not do this, and study this, not study this. But I should say that women have also helped me, especially Professor Nadine Machiku. She has been there for me. She just took interest in me as a student and someone who is dynamic in class. And she kept telling me, you can do this, you can go places. Do you do that? You have potentials. And so she made me to see myself differently. And I think that's what we have to do for the young generation. If you find a young boy who is doing something, you see potential in them, let them know. And so I am mentoring a lot of girls now. In my foundation, we have over 200 volunteers. And so I mentor them on how to, become whatever you want to become, the steps to take. Also, they work in the field of philanthropy, how to become more impactful in your community. And if you identify something in you, I try to maximize that and, really pinpoint on that to make you to be more productive in whatever you're doing, be it finance, be it environmental issues. I just bring you on board and we see how to really, capitalize on that to make you more productive with whatever, even if at a small level. I try to push you through to, give you an opportunity. In my foundation, people have organized events through our foundation, our volunteers. Just call me, Welly, we want to do this. Can you just support us under your foundation so that this can be at least visible? And I'm like, why not? That's the essence of this, to mentor people and have the opportunity to network. So if you have an idea, we're going to push it, try to put in some funds and human resources to make it a reality. And so I encourage many of us to be mentors, and do not be afraid to be a mentee, because one thing is that some of us are proud. We cannot submit ourselves and try to learn. We want to put the cat ahead of the horse, and that is not possible. Be submissive. If you see someone who is doing something that you like, be submissive enough to go closer to that person and say, I like what you're doing. Can you show me the way? How can I start my own association? How can I start my own foundation? The steps, and one step at a time, and you're going to get there.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks. I'll move on to Honorine. Thanks for that. And having over 200 volunteers, you use the word becoming, and that always takes me to Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, the steps to becoming. You had mentors yourself, and then now you're mentoring the younger ones. So for those watching out there, I know there's going to be a flood of friend requests for Welly, but please try to get in touch with her on Facebook and send her a request. And of course, you remember, with a lot of respect and what you need, she might be able to find time to fit you. I mean, 200 volunteers is a lot of work, but then do get in touch. I speak for her. Welly, is it okay if they get in touch with you and then present their work to you?
Sure.
Very good, very good. Now, going to Honorine Emanga, you've been able to mentor some young Cameroonian nurses here at the hospital in Germany. Tell us a little bit more how that experience was for you, and then, just expand a little bit on the topic of mentoring before I get back to Dr. Kumbe with the topic of, inspiration and so on. Yeah, Honorine, mentoring the nurses in Germany.
In Germany alone, studying in Germany is what we say it's an additional work for us who study here in Germany, not because nursing is such a difficult thing to do, but because of the language barrier we have here. People who live in other in English-speaking countries like America or in England, they have it a little bit easier than us living in Germany because of the language. That's the reason why we decide to mentor these young girls, because it's not easy for them alone studying in another language. Some of them cannot pick up through. We organize things like help for them after school, where they meet people who can translate to them, or people who can explain to them things that they don't understand in the German language. We try to explain to them in English or in other language, maybe even in Pidgin. We sometimes speak in Pidgin language to try to break it down for them in a way that they will understand. That's all the reason of this extra mentoring of our African girls who are here. They have been doing real well. This has been a great help. I have other African ladies who live here, who have gone through nursing, who are working together with me at the moment to help the other young girls who are doing nursing. I have a few, very proud of it, other young nurses in Cameroon who have been calling lately to ask for help, seek for advice about nursing. What are the difficulties? What are they to expect in the future? There's nothing that is easy. There's nothing that is easy, but once they have this someone to guide them, to always tell them. I have this one statement I always tell them: where there's the will, where there's the will, there's a way. And a lot of them truly have been successful. I have a case where one of them didn't make it after 3 years. She had to try again and didn't make it. But she was broken, but we cannot do anything. We cannot carry everyone along. We try what we can do, help those we can help, and those that cannot go along, we still make way for them. We have even others that couldn't succeed in like nursing. We got them into what we call active berufs, because the nursing was maybe too difficult for them. We got them into the helper field, and they have been really doing well. It's been great.
Great. I know at the end, you're going to be recognizing some great people who also have foundations like Terabel Marini in Italy. Hello, Terabel. Happy to have you watching. At the end, there is a special time when my guests will be recognizing people like you who also run foundations. Terabel says, we've been doing a lot, Big Sis Ono. Just 2 days ago, I witnessed you monitor an upcoming nurse. May God continue to bless you. Any words for Terabel, Honorine?
Thank you, Terabel. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. So she's been following your work, and she just kind of reflects or reiterates what you just said, which is good. And then my next question will be other foundations you work with. But before that, I want to hear about the challenges. Challenges as in, Doc, you do both professionally, you work as you do a lot of things, let me put it that way. And then you also have a passion for people. So when you work 7 days a week, you also spend time with family. I know that. But then so you're always there for others. So what are some of the things you feel are challenges in your daily life, in your job? And also, when I look at the environment, you said the environment shapes who we become. How does the environment shape who we become? So first, the challenges faced, and how does an environment shape who we become tomorrow?
Thanks, Miranda. I think I want to come back first to the aspect of mentoring.
Great.
And I'm very happy. I'm really, happy to have Honorine, because it's an opportunity for me to recognize all the big nurses, out there who have helped me to become who I am today. The very first mentor I had was a nurse, and that, like I said, that was my own mother. And through medical school, I went to medical school in Germany and to many other places. But a lot of the things I learned, a lot of the skills, the clinical skills I learned, I got them from nurses, because most of the time, as a medical student, you would probably spend more time with the nurses, on the wards than with the doctors. You do the ward rounds and the consultant is gone, and you are there left to the patients. And the only person very often that you can turn to is a nurse. And so I have been mentored by nurses. So it's not always somebody who is in your field who could be a mentor. I mean, to be an all-rounded person, you probably need a mentor for various aspects of your life. I'm a medical doctor, and in the technical scientific field, I have mentors. But I'm also an administrator, I'm a manager. And as far as that is concerned, the person who is a cutting-edge scientist may not be the best manager. And so I need another person who can mentor me in that aspect of my life, same as a father or as a husband, and so on and so forth. So really, Honorine, please, thank you very much for what the nurses have done to me and what they've been doing to other doctors. So thank you very much. Now, back to you, Miranda, your first question.
The challenges you face, and then the second question, how the environment who you become in general.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the challenges, first of all, to set up and run a hospital like this, the biggest challenge is getting the right people.
Okay.
Getting the right people. People with the right attitude, people who who are compassionate, and people who are willing to learn, right? Because in Cameroon, we have people with a lot of different, people come with different backgrounds. And if the organization has a vision, it's very important that those people, share that vision. Otherwise, everybody will be going in a different direction, going off tangent. So I think the biggest challenge is having everybody move in the same direction, sharing the vision of the organization, and then that's it. I think that's the biggest challenge. And what I say always is that, we look into three things when we recruit. We look at your knowledge, what do you know, what can you do, and your attitude.
Right.
And for us at our hospital, the attitude, who you are, actually scores more marks than whatever degree you may have or whatever certificates you may have. Because if you don't know it, if you don't know how to do the job, we can teach you. But if you know how to do it, and yet your attitude is bad, then it becomes very difficult for us to work with you, because you may not fit into the team. You may not be a good team player. So I think the biggest...
Doc, not wanting to interrupt you, but I see two comments saying your volume is a little low. If you could just increase the volume a little, especially what you're saying is so valuable, then just see if it's possible. If not, then maybe just speak a little louder.
It's on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was saying, perhaps I'll move closer to the microphone, is that the most difficult thing in my job is finding the right people. Because, you may have colleagues who have brilliant degrees with the highest, honors at the universities, but who have the wrong attitude and who are not that compassionate, So it becomes very important to find the right people who are going to share the vision. Otherwise, people move in different directions, So you want a team effort, everybody on board and moving in the same direction. So like I was saying, you want to look at what people know, what they can do, and who they are, their attitude. Now, if people they are very knowledgeable, they are highly skilled, but they are not team players, they are rude, they cannot, they are not compassionate, then it becomes very difficult for them to be part of our team. Because at the end of the day, we are in the care business, health care. So we have to be caring, So I think that's the biggest problem, finding the right people and then keeping them together, ensuring that we all move in the same direction.
Right. Thanks, Doc, finding the right people and ensuring that we all move in the right direction. I just want to recognize someone who has a comment here. It's pretty long, so I cannot flush it on screen. Nora Brown, she says, I started like a joke with Emily's Smile Sickle Cell Foundation. This year, we embarked on a Feed a Warrior Today project, which has enabled us to reach out to warriors across the country. I have been training my volunteers in language, what to say to a warrior and what not to say. And we keep adding in numbers, and it's amazing to watch grow gradually and steadily. So I'm just flushing the comment, but it's so long that it's covering the rest of my guests. Thank you, Nora Brown, for having been there and also contributing, just so my viewers have seen your comment and I didn't read it from my script. So thank you so much for being there. And you all asking questions. I'm going to take your questions very soon. There are questions for Honorine Manga as well as Welly and Dr. Kumbe. I'll be taking the questions soon. But one of the questions I saw earlier on was directed to you, Welly. You talked about changing the mindset of the people in Cameroon. I know you have 3 beautiful young girls, which is amazing as a role model and a mom. Dr. Kumbe had said earlier on about being able to look at our children, identify their skills, their talents, their passion. And that's what you do with your girls every day. But then how would you, as the question came, change the mindset of the people? You talk about changing it. How do you do that in Cameroon, changing people's mindset?
Okay, thank you very much, Miranda, and also to the person asking the question. So I think education is the way we can change the mindset of people and also doing things differently. If you educate somebody, you can change the lifestyle, the way of thinking, and the way of people the right education. You help their mindset, and also when they see you as a role model, what you do differently, they can be able to copy because, like you said, people can, it's easier for people to copy, see what you do than for them to listen. So it's better for us to be role models, to do things differently. I see a lot of people around our community who are really making a difference, even though we say Cameroon has so many challenges. But when we look at those people, we are inspired to do other things differently. And I've also been able to do what I can do now because I looked at other people doing these things and I was inspired. When I wanted to start this foundation, people said to me, oh, you will not succeed. You know, there's a lot of bureaucracy in Cameroon. The SDO will not sign. Minat is not available to sign those documents. And I'm like, if she's doing it, then why can I not do it? So if we have people who are doing things and are role models for us, we can also be able to do those things. And if we educate the population, the community, we can be able to change their mindset and cause behavioral change. I think that are the 2 key steps of changing the mindsets of people.
Right. And then the question went on actually to focus on the interior villages of Cameroon. Alvin said, wow, that's a wonderful idea, Madam Kang, but I would like to know how to go about changing their mentality, especially for those in the interior villages of Cameroon. Now she centers and focuses to the villages. How do you approach that?
Yeah, like we have learned from our community projects and from research that we need to be participatory and work with the community leaders, because you cannot find yourself in the community trying to talk to people without the local languages or without the leaders of that community or the family heads or whatever. So when you get to a community, you need to work with those who are already working in that community. You need to use them to be able to touch the lives of those in that community, to the local leaders, to the family heads, to the traditional rulers, whoever is the opinion leader in that community. You work with that person to be able to, penetrate, if I should say so, penetrate that community. And also, you need to, at whatever level, it is all about education. You need to educate them, especially in their local languages or using their local tools and what is available for you. But at every level, education is the key to changing the mindset of people, and that can be done through the local leaders and also setting examples within the community that people can follow.
Right. So thanks for that. We have Christelle Khan. Hi, Christelle. That's determination and believing in yourself, Welly. Amazing. Determination, believing in yourself, going there, focusing on the community leaders to be able to pass on your message to the people. There are some wonderful comments for all of you out there. We can't find all fast enough, but just go back after the interview, look at some questions which are directed to you, Dr. Kumbe. I know you're busy. You might not be able, but maybe a member of your team, Dr. Kumbe, can answer some of the questions out there. Welly and Honorine as well. Look at at some of the questions out there and answer our viewers. We've asked them also if some of them would like to have NGOs tomorrow, and they've dropped comments. Yes, some need mentoring as well, and some are also already having their own NGOs, just like Nora Brown commented here. My question goes now to Honorine Manga to find out if she's able to work with other NGOs. Do you work just as Imanga Foundation of Hope, or have you been able to partner with any other NGOs? If yes, which ones?
We have been able to partner with other NGOs like the Center for Youth.
The sound, we're losing the sound.
We have been working together with the Center of Youth and Family Empowerment in Boya. They are actually the people who help us in doing a lot of organization when we have our projects in Cameroon. We have been working with them. We have worked with the Sampong social service here in Germany, who always help us with aid sometimes when we do organize our events. Imanga Foundation of Hope, like you know, we do it on our own. We don't have any help from anywhere. We do it from our private pocket. So we often ask help from friends, from other foundations. The Terabe Mirini Foundation is also giving us plans in the future together to organize some projects in Cameroon. We have partnered with Teach Me to Fish, Dorothy Diamond in London. We have partnered together to do some projects also in Cameroon that was also very successful. Besides that, we have a few friends, like I said before, we have a few friends and family members who have really encouraged us, who have given us financial support in our project. I can't even just list all of them now, but a lot of my friends and family members have been giving a lot of support every time we have our project. That's how we have managed to move on up to this moment.
Okay, great. So you have been partnering with others. You know, all of us working together is better because none of us is as strong as all of us. So that's the philosophy there. That makes me think of something, Dr. Kumbe. Earlier on, when Welisane was speaking, she said when she started off her foundation, people told her, oh, it's not going to work and all that. So people have a way of trying to influence you when you follow your path, when you accept your purpose, you go with the passion. If we get the mentors and the mentees and we put all this positivity together, there are still those people who don't believe in us. So my question to you, Dr. Kumbe, is when you have a brilliant idea, those watching, they also have brilliant ideas of what they want to do, or they're on the path, but there are those people who don't believe they will succeed at what they do. What is the best way to respond to people who don't see your purpose, your value, your legacy early enough? How do we handle, I don't want to call it negative people, how do we handle the people who say you cannot when you believe you can?
Thank you, Miranda. I think your last statement kind of answers the question. The most important thing is to believe, that you can and that you will. I think that's the most important thing. And the second thing, it is said that, action speaks louder than words. So it's by doing. They say the proof of the pudding is in the eating, So you just carry on, Because when I decided to return to Cameroon, I can't tell you the number of people, close family, friends, and so on, who are like, I was in Germany, I was in Switzerland, like, friend, what's wrong with you, But I believed, I knew what I was looking for and what I was getting myself into. It's not been easy. I wouldn't say it's been easy, but at the end of the day, I think I'm very, very satisfied. I'm happy with what we've been able to accomplish so far. And what happens is that a lot of people who initially didn't believe or didn't think that it was a good idea, in hindsight now they say, well, Henry, I think you were right, So that's it. I just moved on. I just carried on. But it wasn't easy.
Right.
It wasn't easy. And it's still not
right. Okay, so it's not easy. You were in Germany, you were Switzerland, you're a returnee, like we said, award of 2017. You won the Returnees Award in the domain of health because your work went all over when your name wasn't there yet. So it was your award exactly received in 2017. On the 17th of December 2021, all of you watching out there and my guests as well. So it's in a year. We'll have a big event in Douala celebrating those who are living a legacy and also leaving a legacy. It's going to be a room full of people like Welly Sane presenting her foundation, Honorine Manga presenting her foundation, Dr. Kumbe talking about his passion, his vision, the eye clinic. A lot of us who have been able to find purpose, we're able to stand there on that night and celebrate ourselves. 2 weeks ago, we had a young man who is in the agricultural sector, AgriCorp. He presented his project here, and yesterday we got a message. I think I'll just read that message he sent too, because he went back. Some people forget to get back and say thank you, but this young man actually come back. His name is Kingdom Theodore, and he sent a message to the returnees team, or basically addressed to me, and this is what he says. Good evening, Miranda Oben. I hope you're all having a great weekend. Sorry to disturb. AgriCorp is building a great partnership with Dr. Ghislaine Moisil, and we can't thank you and your team enough. To you and your team, we are grateful, and we will do our part not to disappoint you. Thanks for trusting what we do. So again, these are young people in Cameroon who have their projects running. They come on this platform, present the project, and then they partner with the diaspora. Just our cry. Those who have returned home, like you, Dr. Kumbe, the returnees, connecting with the diaspora, which is still here. I'm still based in Germany, Honorine as well, and working with people like Welly on the ground. Because if we don't set that, positivity in motion, negativity has a way of sucking people in. So it is for you, I, to believe in our purpose, our passion, and keep doing what we do. And the foundation which Honorine runs, she's told you how she partners with other NGOs to move ahead. But I would like to know also from you, Welly, as we start winding down now, tell us, do you receive help from any institutions, or do you work with other partners? Tell us about your partners, and tell us how you manage to run your foundation now, behind the scenes, a little bit of behind the scenes, how you run the foundation. Welly?
Yeah, thank you very much, Miranda. And let me just come into, thank you again for this platform. Like the previous person who sent the message said, we don't know how these little talks can take us very, very far. And I make it a point of duty not to miss an opportunity to talk when I'm giving the platform, because it's easier for you to give an excuse that say, oh, I'm busy, but even if I'm invited for a Sunday school something, I show up and I talk to those girls, because one word can change someone's life and turn someone's life around. And so we work with a lot of people. We work with the Iya Bekondo Foundation. We have so many people that we partner with, especially in Cameroon associations and foundations. We have the Dream Girl Foundation. We also have, the names are so many in my head right now, I cannot cite each and every one of them, but what we do is we work with associations that work on girls' issues. I know that girls' issues can be far and wide. It can be girls who are blind to work with Dr. Henry Kobe. Can you please operate 5 girls for me? Or we can say, okay, Mrs. Baron, can you please talk to 5 girls about nursing? So anyone who is interested in issues that has to do with girls and women, how to touch their lives, we are also interested in that person. And so we have so many people that we work with, individuals and groups of persons who really want to work with us, especially in the area of menstrual hygiene. So they ask us to do the parts for them, and then what we just do is partner and supply to the community involved. So many names in my head right now, I cannot cite them individually, but I want to really seize this opportunity to thank all those who have been supporting us, all those who have been partnering, and those who believe in us. We are I should say we are boarding, but we are hoping that in 5 years from now, we are going to have impacted the lives of so many girls. So once again, thank you for our partners, our sponsors, and all those who have believed in the things that we do, and are willing to still continue to support our girls and our women in the years and months to come.
Great. So that reminds me also, I need to thank our partners and our sponsors for the show. Thank you. We've heard you work with Iya Bekondo. We know her also personally on the Returnees project. So a shout out to the Iya Foundation dealing with kidney disease and so on. She's based in the USA, and she runs an amazing foundation I've known for over 5 years now. So great work with what you're doing, Iya Bekondo. This also makes me seize the opportunity with my team to thank our sponsors for having made this platform possible. Brussels Airlines offered flight vouchers to my team to fly, and a flight voucher to one of you winners. And Sell Now Marketing, thank you. Safi Money, Win Solar Tech, and Win Solar Tech and the PLF, Pan-African Leadership and Entrepreneurship Foundation. It is thanks to people like this who partner with us that we're able to move ahead. Our philosophy, again, is being an inspiration to everybody, being an inspiration to the next person. You never know who is watching and getting inspired. Also, what we say is you should always remember that dreams do come true. Just follow your path and be able to find the people and surround yourself with positivity and belief, like Dr. Kumba said earlier on. Believe that you can follow your path, find the right people to work with you and walk with you. But one thing I would like to hear from Dr. Kumba is when I had the visit at the hospital, the word that remained in my mind, which also never left, was the word cataract, which is interesting. You show me all around and how the patients are distributed and separated, but just give us an idea of when you're doing the screening in Douala next December on the Returnees platform, what is it like? What do you look for first when you talk about this avoidable eye, problems? Just give you a little idea in the mind of an ophthalmologist. What do you look at when the patient comes and sits and you take the first look? What is the life of an ophthalmologist like, and how do you pick what disease about the eye, and how do you go about operating it? This is your chance to just take us into the journey of ophthalmology.
Very much, Miranda. I think it's very difficult to go through ophthalmology in 2 minutes.
Tough.
I think, on average, we would say about 20% of Cameroonians would have one eye problem or the other. Most of the eye problems are quite minor. It might be a little dryness. For instance, today, most of us are using electronic devices, smartphones, tablets, and so on, which cause dryness of the eyes. So I'm not talking about that, but we are very concerned about blindness. And there are two types of blindness. You have avoidable and unavoidable. Unavoidable is probably genetic, and 80% of avoidable blindness. And 80% of blindness is avoidable, and cataract is the main cause of blindness in Cameroon. Now, the blindness from cataract is reversible, in the sense that, like you just said, with a surgical intervention, you can reverse blindness within 10, 15 minutes. So that's the first thing that we would be looking for, to identify people who are blind or who could be blind from cataract. The second thing is to look for glaucoma. Now, blindness from glaucoma, which is basically the eye pressure, the pressure inside the eye being too high for that eye, okay? So I wouldn't give any figure, it's just that for that person's eye, the pressure in that eye is too high. Now, blindness from glaucoma is irreversible. And so that's the second thing that we are looking for. Is there anybody who might have glaucoma without having it, who might have glaucoma without knowing? Because glaucoma in the early stages, at times you don't even have any symptoms. The eye sees very well, there is no pain, but you could become blind. And a lot of the patients who come to our hospitals come because one eye is already blind. And then perhaps they were, doing their makeup or having a shower, and they accidentally close the other eye and they realize that I can't see. So I think that's the second thing that we want to screen for, because if we can identify people with glaucoma in the early stages, we can prevent irreversible blindness from glaucoma, all right? And then the next thing is spectacles. People who need glasses to be able to see better, So that could be for distance or for near. Now, I don't like using the term reading glasses, because just like Welly was saying, 70% of women in Cameroon or girls are not illiterate. So when you talk of reading glasses, it actually excludes those who are not able to read. We prefer to use the term near vision glasses, because a woman or somebody may not be able to read, but they still need glasses for near work. For instance, to see an SMS that has just come in on their phone, or in the kitchen to be able to pick the stones out of the rice, things like that. And so these are the three things that we really focus on: glaucoma, cataract, and need for glasses, what we call refractive error. So those are the main things that we'll be doing. Obviously, you go through the process. There'll be a short, conversation between you and the healthcare provider, just to find out what the problems are, if you have other conditions like diabetes. And then they will check your vision. And then we use the examinations, the equipment that we have to examine the eyes. That's basically what we'll be doing. So
Great.
if there are three words that you want to remember, it's cataract, it's glaucoma, and it is glasses.
Now let's take this, ladies and gentlemen, on the 17th of December, 2021. So in a year, no excuses, book your flights, those in the diaspora. We'll be meeting in Douala with Dr. Kumbe's team coming in from Yaoundé to meet in Douala, God willing, and the pandemic sparing us next December in a year. So we will be meeting Dr. Kumbe and we'll be checking your eyes. We'll be focusing on seeing what the cataract, if you have cataract, we'll be checking the eye pressure, which is glaucoma, and we'll be seeing if you have a need for glasses, that's a correcting, or something to do with the refractive error. So that is it. Those are the three main things I have gathered in a short lesson on ophthalmology today. So somebody asking about ophthalmologist, that's the eye doctor. Your eye doctor is called an ophthalmologist, right? So that was a question there from the audience. So for you all connected today, if you know any ophthalmologists as great as Dr. Kumbe, do tag them in the comment section. Most of you have also talked about the kind of foundation you would like to have in future. We have many. Yeah. So if there is any of you watching who would like to have an NGO or a foundation to your name someday, drop in the comment section, right? This is just 1 hour, 30 minutes for an interview, but later on my team, my lovely dream team, thank you to my team, will be going to see what you've put in the comment section, connecting you to people like Dr. Kumbe, Honorine Manga, and Welly as well. Most of you are already mentors to some students of the St. Louis University in Douala. A shout out to Dr. Nick Ngwanyam, who owns the St. Louis University in Douala, also training young students in different domains, midwifery or nursing. Most of them would love to work or run an orphanage someday, work in an orphanage or run an orphanage someday. But the topic about orphanages and so on, we'll tackle with Honorine Manga in another interview someday in the future when we meet. We would have been able to meet on the 18th of December this year on the Friday for the 5th edition of the Returnees Project, which started in 2016. We will still meet, but it's just going to be online on a Zoom call with amazing speakers. So mark that on your calendars, 18th of December. If the team can find the flyer there, just flash it onto the screen for us. The 18th of December, 2020, we will be having a virtual conference. Do not miss that. To wrap up the show today, I see a lot of questions out there, but we cannot take all your questions, but keep coming or tell us, oh, I see, yes, just keep the questions coming and we'll be able to respond some other time. Tell us how you enjoyed the show today. While you tell us how you enjoyed the show today, we'll be asking my viewers their plans for the end of year 2020, then 2021 going forward, and also give you a chance to thank some people who are watching on your guest list. I'll start with Honorine Manga. What are your end of year plans and what are your plans for 2021? And then you wrap up by thanking some special people in your life who have made your foundation the success it is. Honorine Manga, you're next. I think you're mute. Just a second, Honorine. Looks like you're muted. Technical team, can you unmute Honorine Manga, please? Technical team, can you unmute? Yes, perfect. Honorine, yes, your chance to tell us your plans
for December. Planning our Christmas party.
I don't know, the sound is a little bit okay. Go ahead.
For December this year, we have our plan, our Christmas party, which we do every year for our orphanage children. It's coming up on the 15th of December. It's a party for the kids in the orphanage where we organize food and a little gift for them. We do it almost every year, and they are very excited about it. For next year, we are working on moving from like checking what the people want to their needs, getting what their needs are, and working towards getting their needs, not just like what do they want. We are coming up with a program on how to get information on what these children really need, and working towards getting their needs together with other foundations. Actually, like I said before, I've listed a lot of foundations, a few foundations that we have worked with before, and we are looking for other partners who are ready to help us in this movement. We are alone like I said before, we have no sponsors. We have just people like you, Miranda. I just want to start by thanking you. You have been a super help to me. Actually, my foundation, I was created like that. Like I was created to help. I do it. When I started it, it was never a foundation. I just said, lend a helping hand to anyone who needs me. I went through a lot in this country. I have a lot of experience, and I thought, okay, my experience might help someone else. That's how I started it. I was helping a lot of people who came in new, who cannot find their way out in the country, who wants to study the language and cannot find their way out. I started helping them, and all of a sudden, I was like, people were calling me from everywhere. Can I get help? Can I get help? And through people like you and some other sisters, advised me in making it legal to let more people get more information about how to get help from me. That's how the Emanga Foundation came about. That's the reason why I say thank you very much, Miranda. Thank you for your help. I want to mention a few people that I want to thank for helping me. I remember Delphine Potter. She's not, I don't think she's watching, but if anyone is watching, I want to send a special thank you to her. She guided me throughout the process in trying to legalize my foundation. She was the one who guided me through it. I want to thank people like my sister who have been behind me. They have always helped, given a helping hand in everything I do. They have been there. Miranda in America, my younger sister Cecilia here in Germany. I have my friend in England, Roti Deba. She has been a support system to me. I have Terabe. Every time I just need to call and say, Terabe, I need help. She has always been there. I have many other friends each time, like Suzanne Jungo and her family, Dorothy Diamond. Again, a lot of them, each time I call them up, I say, I have a project coming, but I don't have enough money. There are always people who tip in a little something to help the project go on successful. I just want to thank them. I cannot mention everybody. The list is so long, but everyone who has been helped, they know themselves. I appreciate you all, and I say thank you very much. I am learning a lot from you, Miranda, and I really appreciate it. It was a honor for me today to be here, to hear from some great people like Dr. Kumbe. We have met before in Cameroon. I met him in the last returnee project in Douala. I met him. And but it's my first time to hear him talk. Thank you very much, Melissa. I have learned a lot from you, and I'm definitely going to get in contact with you to get a little more advice on how to move forward. I appreciate you all. It's an honor. I'm really blessed. I feel blessed just being a part of this show today. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Honorine. We are glad to have had you. Your energy is really, really, it's people say what you give out is what you receive. It is what you give out to the people and my team and all the partners that you receive, all you get, all the blessings. You just started your foundation, but it just went all over the place. It's because of who you are. And I still believe in the fact that whatever you give out, that's what you're going to receive. You give out positivity, you will find the right people to hold your hand. So extend my regards to your team and congratulations for the great work you're doing with the Emanga Foundation of Hope. You watching, go on Facebook, like and follow the page, Emanga Foundation of Hope. That was for you, Honorine Emanga. Now we're going to move to Dr. Henry Kumbe as well to tell us his end of year plans and then also tell us his prospects for 2021 and wrap up by thanking some special people in his life.
Miranda, thanks, Miranda. I think it's been a very tough year for my team, especially because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They worked very hard under very difficult conditions. But despite all the challenges, we were able to perform more than 33,000 consultations as of today. 33,000 consultations despite the lockdown and the barrier measures and so on. So they worked really hard. And because of that, what we are thinking, what we are planning is some time together away from work, just to unwind, and relax and catch up. Because 300 days we've been working. So we need some time to relax. I also need some time for my family, my wife, my children, a couple of days, also just to spend some time, some quality time with them. For the year 2021, obviously I'll start with the last month. We have a big project in Douala with the returnees, where we'll go and examine eyes to screen for cataract, glaucoma, and refractive error. But we are working on a major project And in that project, we have committed ourselves to carrying out 18,000 cataract operations in 5 years. That project began 2 years ago. As of today, we are at 6,000 cataract operations. So we have 12,000 to go. And we kind of missed the year 2020. So there will be a lot of catching up to do. We'll have to accelerate so that next year we can get to, why not 4,000 or more cataract operations? Because like I said, in Cameroon, we must do at least 50,000 every year. Those are the estimates that WHO gave us 20 years ago. But presently, we are still between 12 and 15,000. So there's a lot of work to be done. In terms of people I need to thank first, I need to thank my family. Charity begins at home, my wife, my children, because like I said, I work 7 days a week and I come back late. So they kind of suffer a lot because of the fact that I'm not able to spend as much time with them as I would like to. So I thank them for bearing with me. Then I need to thank my team, my colleagues at the hospital, because they are doing a terrific job and they have caught the vision. And anybody who comes to the hospital, what I usually hear is that, the staff is very welcoming, that they are very nice and so on. And I think that is the biggest compliment we can have. It means that people are sharing the vision of providing compassionate care, because when you go to a hospital, I'm a doctor, but I don't like going to hospitals, So imagine somebody who is not in the healthcare field, you go to the hospital, all sorts of thoughts go through your mind. But if the way you are received by the healthcare professional, is appropriate, already the healing process can begin, before you even leave the hospital, because you feel you are relaxed, you're at ease. And I think the nurse, Honorine, will probably identify with me. And she also spoke about mental health, So I think I need to thank my team. Obviously, I need to thank the returnees team for inviting me on this show. There are a lot of people like I would like to thank, but I think I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
So just like I always say, just like at the Oscars, you thank people, and the people you want to thank, you forget them, but you get home and you explain to them why you forget them. They're closest to you. So I'm glad you started with the family. Honorine, I can't remember if you mentioned your husband and your daughter during the thank you session. Did you, Honorine?
No, I do it at home.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Because people go like, oh, you didn't thank us. We see a lovely picture of your daughter behind. So extend our regards to your princess. And of course, to wrap up the show, we would like to hear from Welly, who has also been very resourceful for the Returnees Project, came on board this year, but has been able to always be positive in every call we have made. That is amazing. There is something also I love about you, particularly, Welly. It is you are so committed. No matter what happens behind the scenes, when you've given your word, you stick to your word. No matter what it takes, you make time for the pre-interview call just to get to know you. Because when my team introduced your work, I checked and I was like, wow, amazed. But you and I talk like we've grown up together. That was really amazing. And I love that fact that we warmed up so fast. We talked and talked, and I thought, oh, did we just meet? So thank you for your commitment and who you are. I love that energy you have. Keep it going. You were recommended on the platform by my team member, Christelle Asek-Swele. She's the voice you hear at the beginning of the Returnees Project and at the end in English and French introducing the show. And tell me that was an amazing recommendation. So I'll give you a chance to say something to wrap up the show and then talk about your prospects. So first of all, words to wrap up the show, and then your prospects for end of year and 2021. And then thank some people. Welly?
Thank you very much, Miranda. In fact, it's like we are cousins that we have never met and we just got introduced. Right? Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, cuz. I hear you, cuz.
So thank you very much, Christelle Khan, for setting us up and making me to be part of this. I'm really happy to get to know Miranda, Honorine, and of course, Dr. Kombe. So I would like to say that for the end of year, what we have as planned is in the same light like Honorine. We have a Christmas party every year. We move from orphanage to orphanage and set up a Christmas tree. And then, what is Christmas without a cha-cha dress for a girl child and the baby doll? So we offer these dresses to girls, and have every girl has her doll or any other toy that she likes. And then for 2021, we have a very huge plan. We don't know how that's possible, but we are hopeful that it's going to be possible. In February, we have our normal mentorship program, that is the Let Girls Lead Now program. So we have, in partnership with the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education, we organize in the multipurpose sports complex a leadership symposium where we have girls from all schools all over Cameroon or in Yaoundé to have this, imparting them leadership skills, how to become more assertive in the society, how to, be bold, and how to chase your dreams, because that's something that girls really lack, I noticed, in our community. And then we also have our huge project to go to the Adagom refugee camp with our menstrual hygiene project. We're supposed to do it this year, but because of COVID, we could not travel. So we intend to donate 3,000 reusable pads to girls in the Adagom refugee camp in Nigeria, which has Cameroonians, IDPs, Cameroonians who have fled the Anglophone crisis, and they're there. So we are hoping that if it did not return to Cameroon by May, we are going to go to them and give them these reusable pads and also other gifts. And then we have our project, Vacances and Grossesse, during the long holidays.
Okay.
That project is a project that's very close to my heart, because we know what teenage pregnancy can do to a girl's life. So throughout the long holidays, in partnership with media organs, we raise awareness about early pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, and how to protect yourself against HIV and other STDs, and how to remain pregnant before schools resume. And then in the month of September, but we did it this year in October because of COVID, every September we have our back to school project, One Girl, One Dream, where we want to support thousands of girls to go back to school with their tuition, their didactic materials, and some mentorship advice on how to navigate the academic year. So that project is in September. And from October right up to the 10th of December, we have our projects on women and girls' rights, gender-based violence. We have within the period, we have the Day of the Girl Child, we have the Day of the Rural Woman, and we have the day the 16 days activism. So we do a lot of projects around fighting for the rights of girls, raising awareness about rape, which is a real issue in our society, and also economic empowerment of rural women. And so that is what we intend to do next year. That's our calendar. That's what our calendar looks like. Now, to thank a few people, like you mentioned before, sometimes I do not like to call names, because at the end I get asked, so why did you not call my name after I gave you $500? Anyway. Anyway, I want to start by thanking my family. My husband is very understanding. That's why I'm able to do all the things that I do. He just says, okay, you can do this. In fact, he really motivates me, and he lets me fly. He doesn't clip my wings, which is not very common for African men. I'm sorry to say this, but they'll be like, you want to go, who's going to stay home? But he compliments, steps in when I'm not there to take care of the kids and to do other runs in the house. I thank him and the family very much for understanding that I'm a very busy person. And also to my team for always being there. Yesterday was International Days of Volunteers, and I do not have any worker that I actually pay except for one or two. The other hundreds are just people who want to volunteer, who are interested in what I do, who have a passion for the same thing that I have. So I thank them very much for really coming on to volunteer. All the work that we do in and out of the country is thanks to them, and thanks for their selflessness. And also I want to thank a few associations or foundations. Iya Bekondo already mentioned. We also have Target Peace, Amy Banda. She's the one who even made me to know Christel Khan. So it's Amy, because of Amy that I'm sitting here today. So thank you very much, Target Peace, for always taking my things and blowing them out of proportion. If you know Amy, that's who she is. She really does it. And then we have Denise Miki Foundation. Denise Miki is a small girl. She was 2 classes behind me in Seka, but she has been a mentor. That's why I say when we want to have mentors, we should be humble. She has mentored me how to start, how the steps to take, and I'm very proud of her and what she has become and where she's going to. And I remain her mentee, and I keep looking up to her for advice on how to navigate through this world of foundations. And every foundation that has helped us, every association, we say thank you very much. Now to our media partners, we cannot forget about you. If we are able to see the things that we do is because of UCR TV, the Guardian Post, the Post, Hi TV in Boya, all our major partners, we say thank you very much for always coming on board. And I should not forget to thank the team of the Returnees project for having us on board. It's not evident that we are going to be talking smoothly here and seeing ourselves. Sometimes it's so fluxed with hitches, and some people keep disappearing on the screen, and so many technical problems. So that you guys are doing a wonderful job in the background. We see you acting even though we don't see you on screen. Thank you very much to that team and to all of you watching us. In fact, Sunday is a very busy day for you to take out time out of your schedule to be here. We say thank you very much. Dora Brown, thank you very much. I have been following your work on Facebook, the Emily Sickle Cell Program Foundation, and I should commend you for the work that you're doing and for taking out time to be here. And for your Nora Brown talks, thank you. I took her once on CRTV on the World Sickle Cell Day, and she's amazing. Thank you very much, Dr. Kumbe. I hope to come to the clinic. Honorine, you're amazing. You have inspired me in so many ways. I thank you. Miranda, keep doing what you're doing. We're so, so proud of you. And to everyone, we say thank you very much. And please connect with us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Let's have a conversation around girls and women and issues that concern us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Welisane. Like we say on the program, be an inspiration to yourself and to others. So keep inspiring, keep going on. Thank you all for the great words. We've been able to clock the show much, much better than we would have imagined, because when we have two people connecting from Cameroon, the team was just like, how is it going to go? But we brave it. We believe that it's going to move. When we believe in something, where there is a will, there is a way, like Honorine said. We had the purpose, we had the passion. We wanted to talk to exactly you two in Cameroon. And thank God to the amazing returnees team. I call my team the dream team. Sorry about that, but my team is really, really working so hard behind the scenes to make all this happen. I want to thank you all so, so much for having been here today. My team is just going to take you off the screen when I say goodbye, just so you can now go talk to your family, have the rest of the Sunday. Like Welly said, it's not easy on a Sunday to be here. And one thing you said, Welly, also, your husband lets you fly. He doesn't clip your wings. There is something so aching in a woman who has found purpose. She wants to go out there and do something, but then she cannot. So the husbands, this is special acknowledgement to the husbands. Dr. Kumbe, you as well, our porte parole to all the men who have let the women be able to follow their heart, their purpose, help humanity, because we wouldn't sleep better if we can't do the things. So thank you to all the men who do the things they do to ensure that we can touch other lives, because if we don't touch the lives, you cage us and we cannot fly. Imagine a bird which can fly around the world and impact the world, but you keep it caged. It can never be happy. So thank you to the men who make us do the things we can do in life. Thank you for the health and philanthropy work you do. Thank you so much for inspiring the viewers. They're all writing comments of how the show was. Yes, keep the comments coming. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, Nora Bound said something as well. You've blessed me with your words. Thank you so much, Welisana. You've blessed me with your words. Yes, please. All of you watching out there and writing all your writing, we will read the positive comments after that. Thank you all so much for being who you are, connecting globally thanks to technology, touching other lives, giving back your jewels, your wealth to the world. There is something about do not die with the music in your heart. If you have that music, that tune, pass it on to another person. Pass it on to another person so that tomorrow when Miranda Oben is not there, I would know that you have told me this. Say it while the people can hear it. Touch the lives while you can. If God cannot come down on high to help the humanity, you all are here. So there is no point in hiding your candle. Be the light for the world. Dr. Kumbe, I'm going to start with you, and my technical team will take you off the screen. Thank you so much. Extend my warm regards to your family. Thank you. So I want to thank you as well so much for having been here today, Honorine Manga. I know you're here with me in Germany, based in Germany. Thank you, Honorine, for your kind words to all the people who mean a lot to you and to my team as well. Thank you on behalf of our partners. You see them at the bottom of the screen, our sponsors. Keep being who you are. Stay committed. Keep to your words. Keep lending the helping hand. And thank you for having been our guest today, our special guest. Thank you, Honorine Manga. Bye. So, and now, ladies and gentlemen, my cousin, my newfound cousin, Welly. She and I are wrapping up the show today. A lady I have never met, but if the technical team can unmute Welly's mm, audio, please, or Welly, you can unmute yourself now. Great, there is no interference. You said we feel like cousins who didn't know each other. Thank you, cuz. Yes, thank you for having been here. When you speak, sometimes I'm like, oh, Miranda, you know what? You have so many people who already do so many amazing things. And that is it. When we find each other, it is so, so beautiful. That's how the conversation
Indeed.
flows when you find the
Indeed.
like people. Thanks for having kept to your word. Stay true to yourself. Keep inspiring. And please, please, please keep shining your light for other women. Let's cut out that crap of women don't support women. You mentioned Miranda of Target Peace. You mentioned Crystal as well. It is we, these women who support each other, that will show the other women what they do. We also have Divine Winter. I would like you to know her, Welly. This is one of our cousins. She
Okay.
says, l'un bienfaisant sera rassasié, et celui qui arrose sera celui même qui arrosé. Proverbe 11, verset 25. So that is Proverbs 11:25.
Hallelujah.
Yes. Hallelujah. Thanks for watching Divine. She introduced the show, ladies and gentlemen. For those who were not at the beginning, that is Divine Winter, an electrical engineer based in Germany and one of our cousins. Welly, I'll let you say some final words to the viewers before my team takes you out. I'll just let you say some words to the viewers, some inspirational words.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to tell you all that we are very happy to have you here. And, go after your dreams, chase your dreams, follow your hearts. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. And I want to tell the girls that you should be unapologetic. You don't need to explain yourself, just do you and let the other things come along. So thank you very much again, Miranda. Thank you all for watching. And please connect with us on Facebook, on Twitter. We are Welisane Moko Nkeng or Welisane Foundation. And let's continue this conversation at home and in other places, and let's make more programs like this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Welly. I wish you a lovely Sunday. I know very soon it'll be 7 p.m. dinner here, dinner at your place as well. So my regard to your husband. Thank him for letting you fly your wings high and touch so many people. Have a
Thank
beautiful
you.
evening.
My love to your family too. Bye-bye, and see you
Thank
all.
you. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miranda Oben, you already know it's a pleasure for me to receive guests Sunday, 5 p.m. This was the 6th episode of season 2 of the Returnees Project. You've been watching from season 1. We've had amazing guests. You all know we've traveled around the world, talked to many great people, and many people are following our work behind the scenes. I love this particular picture with Alice Michelle, part of my team, as well as Aisha Sase, for those who love CNN as I do. Well, some don't, but I love the work she did and does for CNN. So Aisha Sase, who is following our work behind the scenes with a lot of many other people who we cannot reveal yet. We keep doing the little we can. We keep inspiring the world the way we can. We are seeing your positive comments all out there. Thank you all for having been there today. Yes, Divine, thank you for announcing the show. Ubuntu, yes, thank you so much. It was an interesting live session. Yes, we thank you for having been there. We thank you for shining your light for others. One thing you will remember is the dream is planted in your heart, so it's for you to make it happen. Some people will not understand. They'll ask you questions because they think it's not going to work. All you need to do is show them it's going to work, because you have to believe in your dream. You have to make it manifest. You have to make it show out to the world. For all those watching today, we offer you to get in touch with the Returnees Facebook page. My team, we have 4 admins behind the scenes. Get in touch with the page, write to them. My team will go through your comments, select them, and we have lovely surprises for each of you watching today. Do not forget, on the 18th of December, we will be meeting on a virtual conference online with absolutely great speakers. That's the 5th edition of the Returnees Project. Now, tell us in the comment section how you enjoyed the show, right? Tell us, just in your own words. And before we wrap up the show, we want to thank my designer, Coco Diamond. She's based in the USA, made that dress. So thank you to the designer today. Dressed by Coco Diamond. Coco Diamond will be on the show next week. So for those who are interested in combining the passion, she's an engineer and also a designer. So if you're interested in combining your passion with your profession, Tune in next Sunday and we'll talk to Foje Jensi, that's it, Nicoline Che Bole, Zina K USA, and we'll also talk to Coco Diamond and, of course, Louise Fame in Cameroon. Thank you all so much for always being there every Sunday. Because of you, we are. So, Ubuntu philosophy again. I am because we are. My name is Miranda Oben with a passion to inspire others. With so many gifts that God has given me, I am an engineer Monday to Friday, and on the weekend, of course, a wife and a mom. I cook, I wash, I clean, and then I come sit for 2 hours to be able to touch the world through my voice and through my guests to you all out there. May you remember to be an inspiration to others. Tell a friend to tell a friend that dreams do come true. You have to believe in yourself. Keep away the naysayers and remember that in everything you do, someone might be watching and getting inspired. Next week, I am going to be taking my private jet again and traveling across the world to pick up so many brilliant people. That is going to be December 13th. I look forward to seeing you all. Stay safe. Keep doing what you do wherever you are. Remember that in everything you do, someone again might be watching to be inspired. Thank you all so much. Miranda Oben, time for dinner, German time, and you in Cameroon, enjoy your lovely food out there, and I'll see you in a week. If my team is ready, please wrap up the show with the brilliant voice of Christelle Asexuele, my own country manager in Cameroon. Lovely greetings to you and your family. Stay tuned. Sunday, 5 p.m., Miranda Oben.
The Returnees Show, proudly brought to you by Sell Now Marketing and anchored by the eloquent and charismatic Miranda Oben. Join us live every Sunday, 5 p.m. on the Returnees Project Facebook page. L'émission Returnees en direct, proposée par Sell Now Marketing et présentée par la très éloquente et charismatique Miranda Oben. Connectez-vous en direct tous les dimanches à partir de 17h sur la page Facebook de Returnees Project.